put Josh Allen down. But let's get into the final topic. Let's talk about, this segment's coming out, if you're watching this on YouTube, coming out on Saturday, probably in the morning sometime. The best positional battles, because it is the final preseason game this week. The Ravens taking on the Washington Commanders, a very, very, far apart rivalry. One of the most distant rivalries in the NFL. But, they're taking them on, and this is the last chance for a lot of these guys to prove that they can do it. The Ravens recently cut, preseason's so hard because you have to cut guys all the time. They recently cut 6 players, placed, I think, Slade Bolden on the injured list, to be able to get him off. They placed Gus Edwards on the injured list, but they've already started cutting players. The roster is slimming down.
Yeah.
What are the best positional battles that you're looking at, and the players that you're looking at of, hey, if this guy plays really well, it could solidify him a spot on this team, or hey, if this guy doesn't play very well, he could very well lose that spot.
Of course, we talk about wide receivers all day, every day, but I'm gonna take a step further. I'm gonna talk about the linebacker room. We're thin. We're thin as hell. We're middle linebacker, edge, you name it. We're thin, and everybody, and even though we let go Daniel Fago, he didn't get too much production. I see Christian Welch out there. He kind of made me so upset because he didn't really use the athleticism to at least try to take the ball away in the coverage when Trace McSorley lost the ball over his head to his wide receiver. I think it was to the USFL great. But I love what Josh Ross is bringing to the table. Jeremiah Moon especially. I'm really big on him because I'm looking at that edge, and even Daniel Hayes, because am I saying his name right?
Dalen.
There we go. I do apologize. New start with a D though. Sorry, Dalen. If you ever listen to TTB, I do apologize, man. But I'm looking forward to see how Jeremiah Moon and Dalen Hayes separate themselves to put themselves in a 53-man roster. Because right now, it's up for grabs. Tyus Bowser, we don't know. We may have him about week 3, maybe week 5. David Ojabo won't have him until November. So the sky's the limit. I love it. Like I've been saying, if Jeremiah Moon can set the edge a little better, because he can get up the field. I've seen him in the first 2 games get up the field, so that's not a problem. All I need him to do is start setting the edge and just sitting and having better containment. If he starts showing that he can better contain and fight off the block on those tacklers, I feel like he definitely can win himself a spot on his 53-man roster and be an intricate piece on his team. Now, Dalen Hayes, he's another one that's just coming back from injury. We loved how he's a technician. We love the bend. We love how he can play on the opposite side of a strong, power, athletic guy like Adafio Wade. Because if Adafio Wade can create as much chaos as he can, then you have the pressure from the inside. All Dalen Hayes has got to hit the tackle with a move or two, and he can be in the backfield. We've seen him do it many of times. We've seen him in coverage. I'm not gonna say he looked out of place, but at the same time, he didn't look as comfortable, being in coverage trying to chase down a wide receiver or running back, but he gave it all his effort. But I feel like those 2 guys are some guys I'm really watching just to see how they make a stance this 3rd game.
Those are definitely all guys. Most of the players on this roster, they need to play well. Not trying to take anything from any of the guys. So if we don't mention somebody, that's not saying they're a lock or they can't make the roster. And most of these players have a chance of making the roster. I think my favorite one is going to be Armour-Davis Washington.
I love it.
Because Armour-Davis Washington really hadn't been able to see him because he kept getting injured, in the preseason, similar to a man that we know by the name of the Joker, Deshaun Elliott. Yeah. But last week he ended up playing, and he looked pretty good. He allowed the touchdown, but at the same time, it was a great catch, that touchdown. He got his hand up in there. He was tight. Better play by the wide receiver. And then on the next drive, they kept going after him because they were like, oh, well, we mossed him on the last drive. And he was not allowing it. and they're trying to, the Cardinals are trying to come back and get that victory. And Armour-Davis Washington, like single-handedly on that final drive, said no. So I feel like he's actually in the mix for maybe a backup slot corner slash a, safety, nickel, dime coverage type of player, also special teams as well. I think he's battling it out with Tony Jefferson, because Tony Jefferson has been struggling a little bit. And, if Chuck Clark ends up staying on the team, it may be difficult for him to, really find, because really he's going to be a special teams player if Chuck Clark is playing, because Chuck Clark is the box safety. Kyle Hamilton can come and play in the box. Most of the Ravens safeties can come and play in the box.
Yeah.
Who do you want on special teams? Do you want Tony Jefferson, or do you want, a speedy guy in Armour-Davis Washington that can also go out wide and maybe cover a wide receiver, and play kind of that hybrid role that Brandon Stevens has been playing, that Tyrann Mathieu played throughout his career? I feel like that's a battle because Tony Jefferson does not look good on special teams. I think he's already missed 2 tackles on kickoff coverage so far. And that's what he's supposed to be doing this year. This is no longer the Tony Jefferson that's starting opposite Eric Weddle for the Baltimore Ravens. This is a much older, and I love Tony Jefferson. If he's on the team, I'm very happy. If we trade Chuck Clark, I want Tony Jefferson there.
Yeah.
But I think Armour-Davis Washington has a real shot if he continues to play like the player that, we thought we may be getting when we pulled him out of TCU as an undrafted free agent.
You know what? I love that take. I mean, we've been waiting. I don't know about you. Well, yeah, I do know. We've been waiting to see Armour-Davis Washington play, man. And being able to see, they almost treated him like Anthony Avery last week, and he came out and did his thing. Some of the best corners that got mossed, even got touchdowns on them. So it happens. It's life. It's all about how you had. It's all about that memory. Whether you have a short memory and forget it, or you have a long memory and you still remember it, and it's going to affect you throughout the whole game. And Armour-Davis Washington, he just came out there and balled, man. So I definitely love that. We keep on talking about Chuck Clark, and he's still there. Hey, if he still makes the 53-man roster, then I'm interested to see how we're going to place him, how effective he's going to be. With Kyle Hamilton being there. Kyle Hamilton has been taking a lot of snaps. But another position battle, I think the best position battle, we got to continue talking about it, man. Quarterback, second string quarterback, and wide receivers. I mean, granted, yes, we didn't cut 3 wide receivers. Shout out to Jalen Moore getting picked up by the New York Giants. Shamar Bridges, Makai Pope, Benjamin Victor's still alive. That's really surprising to me, honestly. I'm really rooting for those. I'm really rooting for Shamar and Makai, especially. I feel like these are 2 young men that can play big parts to our team. I mean, yes, we did added DeMarcus Robinson, who is a great slot receiver and also can play on the outside too. So I mean, yes, we done added to our tight our overcrowded room. Maybe we put Devin Duvernay on the injury list. Who knows how that may work out? I know Tylan Wallace came back to practice, so Tylan Wallace may be on a bubble, depending how they position them come this Saturday against the Commanders. We need to see more out of him as a wide receiver and not trying to put him as a gadget guy. Tylan Wallace is not that type of wide receiver. He is an outside wide receiver. He can catch the ball. He can make big plays. You have to give him the opportunity. The second string quarterback position battle. Usually we like to stay with 2 quarterbacks. I know everybody's saying, "Oh, Snoop is locked in," but if Snoop keep on doing his job, who knows how many more people are going to continue to call before game 1? And Anthony Brown, yes, he threw an interception, but he had 2 touchdowns. In last week's game and the game before that, he had a touchdown as well. So I mean, do you want to keep as a player in the NFL? If you can start, you can be that guy. Do you want to keep on playing behind your best friend? Do you want your opportunity, to actually get out there and try to lead a team? If I'm Snoop, I'm doing my job not only to secure my spot as second string QB here in the Baltimore Ravens, but I'm also going to do my job to the best of my ability to showcase my ability that someone's going to be be calling, Eric DeCosta and say, hey, are you interested in trading Tyler Huntley? And if you are, what do you want for him? So I look at those two. Positions as well as two intricate position battles because one, the wide receiver core. Everybody been talking about it. Everybody is doubting the wide receiver core. We're too young. We don't have the experience all around. How are we going to make it to the playoffs with this wide receiver core and all that stuff? Quarterback. I don't know about you, McConnell, but I seen on Twitter. Oh, if Lamar Jackson walk, do Snoop start? Or if Lamar Jackson doesn't take the contract that's being offered to him, do we start Snoop over him? Which is crazy. So instead of keep on throwing those wild ideas out there, those hot takes, let's go ahead and send Snoop somewhere where he can really shine. And let's maybe see him in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think both of those positions are definitely one. And the best part is they're working together, right? Quarterback throwing to the wide receiver. And Snoop's trying to prove to the rest of the NFL that, hey, I'm a starter in this league. And there were people talking about that last year when he started coming in. Even last preseason, people were like, wow, this Snoop dude, this Tyler Huntley kid, he looks pretty solid. We'll probably never see him, though. So it'll be very difficult to gauge. Well, Lamar ends up getting hurt. Actually, Lamar ends up getting COVID. And Snoop started the game in the middle of the year, I believe, against either the Bears or the Vikings. It was an NFC North team. And people were like, and he actually got the win there. And it was like, wow, because he ended up throwing a big touchdown pass, ended up setting up the Ravens to get the win at the end of the game after a big touchdown pass on a signature classic Wink Martindale 3rd and long cover 0 type of play. But he looked good. People were like, okay. And then he started the rest of the year, and it was like, wow, this Tyler Huntley kid, he can play. Teams are definitely going to be calling. And so we got him, and he's trying to play not just for a spot on the Ravens, because he's got a spot on the Ravens, but a spot on another team. And then at the wide receiver spot, Raleigh Webb, not a player that I was expecting to be playing as well as he is. And it just seems like this dude is just dominating, and he's playing so well. And it's like, wow, okay, Raleigh Webb. And what the funniest part is, is it Raleigh Webb or is it Jordan Stout? The Fox broadcast may never know. He may need to get a new number, if he continues to play at this level. So he's someone that's been playing extraordinarily well. And he looks like he could potentially be a deep threat for the Ravens. He's getting those big receptions. We saw him and Anthony Brown just connect on a laser of a pass for a big play touchdown. And then we also saw Mekhi Polk. Mekhi Polk showed off his skill set of, hey, I can go deep. And I'm going to draw pass interference penalties. And it was like, wow, yes.
Yes, sir.
The Ravens are the worst team in the NFL at drawing PI. Like, it is a known fact. Like, Rashad Bateman did it once last year, and it was like, what is this? We haven't done this. Because I think it had been at least a year since it had happened where the Ravens drew a defensive pass interference, which is insane. Because you go against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Mike Evans is drawing it every other play. Mekhi Polk showed off that skill set. Hey, I can get, big plays, whether it's me catching the ball, on a QB scramble. I'm going to turn my back, turn around, and, start cutting up the field, going back to the quarterback, getting a big play. And then Shamar Bridges, we've seen the big play ability. So I think those three guys, and Benjamin Victor as well, they're all playing for that. I think it's going to be 2 final spots because I don't know of the status of Tylan Wallace. So Tylan Wallace may be out to start the season. So the Ravens may have 6 wide receivers outside of Tylan Wallace, 7 total on the roster. Tylan Wallace just may not technically count because he may be on, the PUP list or something like that to start the year. So I'm thinking 2 of them end up making the team.
Yeah.
And who are those 2 going to end up being? I'm thinking right now.
Talk to me.
I'm thinking it's Shamar and Mekhi Polk.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Mekhi Polk, I think it's super close.
Do Raleigh Webb beats out Mekhi?
I think if he continues to make big plays, it'll be difficult to not keep him.
And we need to know the status of JP too as well, because we don't
Yeah.
know what's really been going on. So, sheesh, what if we don't have Devin Duvernay, JP2, and Tylen Wallace, and we got 3 undrafted guys plus Rashad Bateman for the next 3 to 4 weeks? How do you work that out?
Throw Isaiah Likely out there on the outside right there. That's how you work it out.
My man, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So, I mean, guys in the comment section down below, let us know. What do you think? Who's in this biggest positional battle? Obviously, we're going to be live Saturday before the game. We're going to be live Saturday after the game, talking about all this stuff. But this is what we're thinking. Joshua, do you have any final kind of things to bring up before we end the show?
Nah, man. The slogan, man. TTB gang. We always appreciate y'all listening to us and following us, man. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you're subbed up to us on YouTube, and share it to a friend, family member, cousin, whoever. Matter of fact, share TTB to your fellow Cowboys fans in the state of Maryland, and even all the Steelers and Browns and Bengals fans too.
Yeah, we gotta anger some more people, guys. If you're listening on the podcast platform, thank you so much for getting this far in the show. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, man, I hate having to wait between a couple of days to hear more content, check out the podcast platforms. You can listen to the full. This show ended up being right under an hour long. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for the support. We're excited for this final preseason game, and we're gonna see all of you